You know, sometimes in life, things just fall from the heavens and you don't really understand why. Like, why on earth would the Tennessee Titans just fire Mike Vrabel? And now, if you're the New England Patriots, welcome into Patriots Today, this is your answer. I mean, Rolly and I, who we bring in here, I'm Harrison Graham, debated yesterday, do you trade for Vrabel, do you not? Rolly was team don't trade for him, but kudos to Adam Schefter, Ian Rappaport, Titans confirmed it was a firing here of Mike Vrabel, who's been there since 2018. But, this is so obvious, Rolly. You could go get your guy now, your next coach for the next 15 years if you want.
I mean, we'll talk about it more in depth as we go on through this video, but quite the shocker in Tennessee today. Listen, now, if you told us that they were going to move on from Mike Vrabel, that wouldn't surprise us. But just to flat out fire him, and it was also reported from Diana Rossini that Vrabel did not go to ownership or the front office and ask to be traded or fired, right? Yeah. He was okay staying in Tennessee, and then they just got rid of him on their own merits. It's quite the shocker because I still believe he's a top 10 coach in football. And just a few years ago, I had him in my top 5 when he was bringing Ryan Tannehill and company to the AFC title game and going on the road, beating 1 seeds all the time. This truly is just like a fall from the heavens possibly for New England.
I mean, I'm not a big, oh, that's a sign type of guy, but, if there ever was a sign, if you're on the fence of what do we do with this legendary head coach we have, do we keep him, do we move on, this is a sign, man. If you could have named one ideal replacement for Bill Belichick, a Patriots guy, you can keep certain things similar, a guy who learned under Belichick but has also had success on his own, it's Mike Vrabel, man, and you don't even have to trade for him. To me, it's all right, man, if you don't take that for, huge value, if you're Robert Kraft, you're just missing a big opportunity here. And we'll talk about the Belichick stuff, and it's nothing against Belichick again, but, man, the guy for the next decade is sitting there right now. Hopefully they pursue him. I think that they're going to. So let us know what you guys think. Do you want Mike Vrabel as the next Patriots head coach? Type Y for yes or type N for no. Pin comment on today's show. Let us know. And also, subscribe to the channel. We will have the latest Patriots head coach news, rumors on lockdown here. Any new report drops, we're going to have you covered. There's been some Belichick news and notes out there. We might touch on that at the end of the show as well. Man, things are really, really heating up. So subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get to 8,000 subs as soon as possible. Ian Rappaport had this to say as well, basically saying, hey, keep an eye on New England and Bill Belichick now, Rolly. And again, it's just falling into your lap if you want it. Now, I don't know, maybe Mike Vrabel doesn't want that job, but I find that hard to believe. I think if Robert Kraft called him this afternoon and said, you're my guy, I think he'd be on a flight to Foxborough pretty quickly.
Listen, there's been a lot of mixed reports surrounding Belichick on what's going to happen, right? But I will say this. What does this mean for the New England Patriots that Mike Vrabel got fired? I feel like it's been reported that Kraft has a liking towards Vrabel, right? There's also that report yesterday from Jordan Schultz that if Belichick got moved on from the Patriots, that he'd have interest in replacing Belichick in New England. So it feels like that the Titans kind of made the first move in this chess game, not saying that the Titans and Patriots were in a battle of some sorts, but they made the first move. And now Kraft sees his guy potentially in Mike Vrabel, a Patriots legend. The fans love him. Like you mentioned, established coach, waiting in the wings potentially to be the next guy, the heir apparent in Foxborough if Belichick gets moved on from. I feel like seeing Vrabel out there and available for the taking will push Robert Kraft to potentially end this 25-year run for Bill Belichick in New England.
Now, look, there are potential side effects of this. Here's one. You may not get as good a capital for Bill Belichick or any at all. If the rest of the NFL knows, hey, New England's hiring Mike Vrabel, then the league might call that bluff and say, okay, cool, we're not trading for Belichick then. But honestly, if I'm New England, I'm okay with that. If you mutually part ways with Belichick and that lands you Mike Vrabel, I'm in because, again, you're getting a guy who is a lot younger. He's, I think, in his late 40s right now. He could be your next coach for the next 5, 10. If it's awesome, 15 years. Who knows? Like, it's not a guarantee, of course, but you're talking about a guy in Tennessee who went 54-45 in 5 seasons, which 5 seasons? I think 6 seasons, actually, which isn't, like, incredible, but 13-win season, number 1 overall seed, AFC Championship in 2019. He never had a quarterback better than Ryan Tannehill. 3 playoff appearances. Like, you get this guy a good defense, which they already have, and if he can get an upgraded quarterback, which, oh, by the way, you're in position to draft a top QB prospect, like, you could get this thing on track fast. Like, you could be a playoff team by 2025. Hell, maybe you're a sneaky team in 2024. Like, I just feel like it's staring you in the face if you're Robert Kraft. Like, as hard as it might be to move on from Belichick, you gotta pounce, man. Like, this is a hell of an opportunity. And by the way, if you don't pounce, there'll be a lot of teams that will, because Mike Vrabel, unless maybe Jim Harbaugh, has now become the strongest candidate on the market, and I'm not sure it's even that close.
Yeah, I would actually argue that Vrabel would, in my opinion, be a stronger candidate than Harbaugh, because Harbaugh's been in the college game for a while.
Yeah, you could definitely make that argument.
And maybe I'm just a little bit bullish on Mike Vrabel. But
I do think for New England, he's for sure a stronger candidate with the connection, the history. I think the style of football he likes playing fits that culture, so I'm with you on that.
Yeah, but I did want to share this tweet from aggregator for a lot of Boston sports stuff, Savage Sports, because Mike Reese, this morning, this tweet was an hour and 15 minutes before Mike Vrabel got canned in Tennessee. He had a couple quotes on ESPN, like he was reporting, said it's a Hail Mary at this point that Bill Belichick stays in New England, but also added a line, it's not over till it's over. I just think this coming out from Reese an hour before Vrabel gets fired, if it's a Hail Mary that Belichick stays in New England and before Vrabel's available, I do really think, going back to the point I just made personally a couple minutes ago, that Vrabel being on that head coach available list will push Robert Kraft to do it. And what maybe was going to be a little bit of a drawn-out process in New England, if Kraft, a couple meetings down the road, they had one yesterday, they had another one scheduled. I think this pushes Kraft to accelerate that timeline a little bit and get things potentially started earlier by bringing in our guy and legend Mike Vrabel.
Yeah, I think the writing's on the wall. Now, again, like, the timing is still interesting because if you're going to try to trade Belichick, what does that look like? I'm not sure. I think if you do hire Vrabel, it does make a trade less likely, especially for top. But again, like, who cares? Like, if you get Mike Vrabel, man, like, you should be happy. You should absolutely be thrilled with that outcome if that's where this is heading. And hey, get yourself a hat to celebrate, because I think this is a time worth celebrating. Nothing's happened yet, but I feel pretty confident Mike Vrabel is going to be the Patriots head coach. I'll put it this way. If he's not, that means they're keeping Belichick, because I think if they move on from Belichick, they will offer Mike Vrabel, and he will take it. Lots of different hats available at chatsports.com/patshats. That link is in the comments and in the description. Some of these on sale as well. Take advantage. Get yourself a Patriots lid. You also got this from Alex Barth that we discussed yesterday. This is when he got inducted into the Patriots Ring of Honor, which I still can't believe this, Rolly. As the Titans head coach during their bye week, he's up in Foxborough, and he's talking to a couple of reporters and about, hey, this and that. He says, come on, we've got a game to win. We've got a game to win. Patriots football is in his blood, Rolly. It's in his veins.
It didn't matter that he was still coaching for the Titans. He was saying we, sitting in the box with Robert Kraft during the game, wearing that very nice-looking red jacket as he was getting inducted to the Patriots Ring of Honor / Hall of Fame. And listen, he bleeds Patriots blue or red, whatever you want to say it is, and he would be absolutely motivated to get this thing back on track in Foxborough. And like we mentioned earlier, Jordan Schultz reported this yesterday, that Vrabel, with his future uncertain, now we know what his future is. He's interested in the idea of returning to New England if the Patriots part ways with Bill Belichick. And I don't want to keep on beating a dead horse, but it really does feel like, in my opinion, this of firing of Vrabel will push Robert Kraft in the direction of moving on from Bill Belichick.
I just feel like the wheels might have been in slow motion yesterday, but I think that speed's about to really ramp up. Like, they got to make a call quick, because, like, if Vrabel sniffs that New England isn't super interested right away. I mean, he'll listen to other teams, I'm sure. I mean, so if you're New England, I would imagine by end of day today, you've got to make a decision on Belichick. I mean, you just do. I mean,
it does feel like today the decision could be made at latest, I think, tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because you're starting to see other
maybe
teams.
a Wednesday morning announcement. But
you're already starting to see teams put in requests for other DCs and OCs to be interviewed, as well as GMs. And that's the biggest thing to me is the GM search, because if you move on from Belichick, that is the number one thing you might have to do is get a GM first and then go coach. Now with Vrabel, it might be a different story because of his history with New England, and Kraft just wants him. But you got to get a start on this GM search more than the head coaching search, in my opinion, if you do move on from Belichick.
Well, and the point of expediting things, Rolly, too, and this is interesting, by the way, Derrick Henry saying he's shocked. Derrick Henry, next Patriot? Probably not. But to your last point, though, Tennessee, they released in their statement that we didn't trade him because we thought it would take – we didn't know how long it would take, and we need to start this search. So, to that point, as you look at New England now, Rolly, you got to make a call quick. And if that means you're not able to trade Belichick, so be it. If that means you're going to get Vrabel, I think that trade-off is worth it. So we'll see how this plays out. Obviously, we're going to be here to cover it all. If we get Belichick news later today, we'll be back with another episode. So this is the time of year to subscribe. This is the time of year to turn on notifications. So be sure to do so and answer this question. Will Mike Vrabel be the coach for the Patriots in 2024? Type 1 for yes, type 2 for no. Turn on those noties, and we'll see you soon here on Patriots Today.